Hello everyone, this is Clary from Steampunk Tarot and welcome to my channel. This is my very first video ever, so please bear with me. I'm recording a video response to Anthony's 31 Days of Tarot for 2019. I have started doing this challenge on my Instagram, so if you're interested in the first 10 prompts, you can find the post there. I'm catching up from day 11, and the prompt is Oracle decks that you want to work with more in 2019. To be honest, I would like to work with all my Oracle decks if possible, but that would make the video like way too long, so I decided to pick a few decks. So I'll start with this one, which is an old deck. It's called Symbolon. Some call it Symbolon Tarot because it has 78 cards, but to me it has nothing to do with tarot because it doesn't share the same structure. And this is an astrological based deck, and I really like it. There are astrological correspondences like the planets and the astrological signs, and there are two ways to work with it. One is to see where the planets are every day and pick the cards that relate to that and read them cards. Or you can use it for, you can read the cards like reading the pictures, the way you would read any oracle deck. Or you can use this little book, and it has 3 meanings for each card. The first is a problem, the second is the way through the problem, and the last one is the outcome. So you could use that to form a reading. And I really like this deck because there are so many things that you can pick from these cards and work with that I find it really inspiring. It's not the kind of deck that I would pull to answer questions as much. Maybe some specific questions, but it's not for everything, I don't think. Although, you know, everyone is different, but that's the way I would use it. And I'm looking forward to work with it. The second deck is the Well-Known Animal Spirit by Kim Krantz, and this is a very well-known deck. The artwork is stunning, and because I come from a big city, I'm not very familiar with the energy of the animals and living with animals and stuff. So I thought that this deck can help me connect more with nature and also learn more about the energy of the animals. I think that this may be a great deck to work with as a daily draw concerning like what sort of behavior could be helpful today, or what sort of energy can help me go through this situation and things like that. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to work with this deck and get to know it better. I had it for a while, but because it only has the name of the animal, I found it kind of difficult to work with, but I'm working on a way around it. The third deck that I would like to showcase is this deck, which I think it's a very old deck and it may be out of print, I don't know. But I found it on eBay and I bought it just like a few months ago, so I believe that it's still available. You may have to look like a bit to search more, harder to find it, but I believe that it's still available. And it's called Soul Lessons and Soul Purpose Oracle Cards. It comes with a little guidebook, and I think that this is nice for like as an affirmation or as a prompt for journaling, or like to help you think about things about yourself and about the way you behave, and I don't know, things like that. It has some interesting face your shadow, work with devotion, rejuvenate, refine your attention. It has some interesting prompts, and therefore I am really excited to work with it. I also like the little guidebook because although it's small, it's packed with information, and I really like it. The fourth deck that I decided that I want to work with this year is this one. It's called Sacred Sites Oracle Cards, and this is a very unique deck because it's very different. It's not the kind of deck that you will pull to answer questions, I don't think, or at least I don't think that it was created for this purpose. It depicts places from all over the world. The names of the places are written in the bottom, like Acropolis, Delphi, Santiago de Compostela, and so on and so forth. And each card, it's divided into 3 sections: the upper, the middle, and the lower world. And in this book, there are not descriptions. What's the word I'm looking for? Like explanation for each position. And in the end, what I like the most is that it gives you like a meditation or an exercise to do, and I find this like very interesting. So I want to try and work with this more this year, because I have tried a few cards, but not all of them. So yeah, plenty of exercises. The next oracle deck is this one. It's called The Enchanted Map by Colette Baron Reid, and this one it doesn't come with a book, but there is a book called The Map that you can buy to work alongside with this deck. And the book is more about working with yourself, with your shadows, with your past, looking into your present, and therefore like forming your future. And I think that this will be a very interesting deck to work with. I have worked with this deck all year round on a daily basis, pulling 3 cards each week. One for where I am now, the second for what I need to know, and the third where I'm heading. And I have had some incredible readings. The book is really good as well, although it's not like, it is meaty, but like it's small. It's very interesting. I don't particularly like the artwork. Like, I mean, it's nice, but it's not my cup of tea. But the cards, the messages of the cards were so spot on that I really want to work with it more this year. And that sums up day 11. Let's move on to the next question, which is, have you ever dealt with imposter syndrome in your tarot practice? And that's a question by Maria Alviz Hernando, maybe. Sorry if I butchered your name. And my answer is no, I don't think I have ever dealt with imposter syndrome. I have felt insecure and I have doubted myself. Like I wasn't sure if what I was reading was what it was. But I think this is something that everyone has felt at some point in their journey with the cards. We all have like times where we are uncertain about things and we question ourselves. But I think that's kind of natural. Day 13 from the from the major arcana cards, what cards correlate to your sun, moon, and rising sign? How has that resonated or played out in your life? And that's a question by Nia Thrice, I think. Sorry if I said that wrong. Right. I am Taurus, and my rising sign is Taurus as well. So that makes me a Hierophant. And I know many people don't like this card, but I don't see it as like strictly religious. I can see like the religious connotation, obviously. But to me, this is more like a teacher and someone that wants to be there to help others, to guide them, to support them. Is also someone who is like a mediumship between the spirit and the person. And in this respect, I can see many similarities to my life because when I was in my home country, I used to work as a teacher. When I moved here in the UK, I've started teaching card making classes and small groups. And in general, I've always been interested in teaching. So to me, yeah, this is a card that I can relate. And I also feel that I have always been there for family and friends as someone like to confide into, and to I've been the one that has tried to support and be there for people. So in this respect, yeah, I can relate to the card. My moon is Libra, and that makes me justice. Justice is obviously about justice. It's also about the truth. It's about like what we do and the consequences. And yeah, I can see the relation to this card because I've always tried to keep a balance. I was trying to walk the middle way. Like even as a teenager, I wasn't very rebellious. um, uh, it's not that I want. I kind of want to go by the rules because I don't like chaos, if that makes sense. Not because I always think that going by the book is the best way, but because I think that if we totally like go against that, it could have even worse consequences, if that makes sense. So in general, yeah, I've been quite balanced as a person, I think, at least most of my life. So I can relate to that as well. Right. For day 14, it says, which tarot decks give you the most insight by way of the imagery and symbology of the cards rather than intuition or basic tarot knowledge? And the question comes from Elizabeth Harking. This deck, the Wheel of the Year, is one of the decks that I would say that is really easy to read based on symbology and the pictures. You don't really need to know what the wheel means in order to read that, you know, it's about cycles, it's about what comes up goes down and the opposite. You don't need to know like what the 10 of Wands means when you see them, like how they are overwhelmed, how they want to go there, but they are carrying all these things that slow them down and things like that. Like, I think it's a deck that it's very easy to read, even if you don't have too much intuition or a great basic knowledge of the tarot system. Another deck that I think reads the same way is this one, which is called Victorian Fairy, I think. And this may be out of print, but it just went out of print, so you might be able to get it still at a reasonable price and on eBay and things like that. And it's a very nice deck. Like, for example, here the Seven of Winter is the same, is the Seven of Swords, and you don't really need to know what it means. You can see that they are trying to steal something, either for their survivor or because they just don't want to do the work and they try to get things easy, or just because they have bad motives. But yeah, like here the Five of Autumn, Five of Coins. Again, you can see that all these people are having a good time, and these ones are lacking, and they are longing for that, but they're not there yet. And I think that this deck is easy to read as well. And the third one that I have in my collection, and I really love, and I think it reads like a dream, it's this one. I know that not everyone likes this one, but I do. And yeah, again, I like the imagery, and I think that there are so many things going on in the cards that it's easy to read something even if you don't know the basic meanings of each card. In general, I think that decks that have a lot of people and like scenes of everyday life and things that you can easily relate to are decks that can help you read based on the imagery and the symbology, rather than having to pull messages from your intuition or your knowledge. Right, day 15. What is your tarot? What is in your tarot to go bag? Your tarot travel bag. And again, the question is by Nia Thrice. To be honest, I don't have a tarot bag as such. Quite often I read here at home. If I decide to go like somewhere outside and read for friends and family or strangers or whatever, I normally get a reading cloth, a few decks, and maybe some tissue in case like someone gets emotional or whatever, and a bowl of water. I like to travel light, so I wouldn't carry like candles and stones and things unless I'm going to an event or something, and I think that this can really like be useful. And not that they are not useful otherwise, but I don't know how to express it. It's just I don't really need these to read. They just create a better atmosphere, and unless it's an event that kind of requires them, I try to not carry too many stuff with me. That was day 15. And I'll finish off with day 16, which says, what tarot card in the deck do you look out for the most when you get a new deck? And if you don't like that card, does it ruin your deck for you? I don't have a specific card that I'm looking for, but normally I tend to look for the most negative cards, negative, like the more difficult cards, like Death and the Ten of Swords, the Nine of Swords, the Three of Swords, because I want to see how they are depicted and if I can relate to them, because I don't want to see like doom and gloom everywhere. I want them to have some sort of encouragement somehow. It doesn't necessarily spoil the deck for me. Like, I have the well-known tarot deck, and we all know that like the Ten of Swords is very cruel um, and stuff. But it's just it makes it less desirable to work with. Like, I'm not the kind of reader that shies away from like bad situations. If I see something bad, will I will not avoid it, and I don't see like everything through pink glasses. But I don't want something to be more negative than it really is, if that makes sense. And yeah, that was my answer to day 16. Thank you all for your time and for visiting. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I would like to see you again soon. Much love. Bye.